I am in the mood for some tarot and oracle. So we're going to find out what it is you need to know. I have two of my favorite decks and one of my favorite oracles. So we're going to pull the oracle first just to set the tone and the intention for this reading. We're going to take our time. Oh, this is so good. This is already so good. Okay, first of all, rainbows could be very significant for you. If you are seeing rainbows, whether that's in a dream, on a window pane, on a sticker, a bumper, whatever it is, rainbows are significant. After the rain, silver lining, relief, hope, mercy, it's over, acceptance. I feel like you are about to enter complete harmony and flow when it comes to yourself, when it comes to your path, your purpose. It feels like you just went through like a very hellish part of your journey, where it felt like very rough waters, and like I'm getting the image and sensations of drowning and just feeling as if like you're in the midst of this storm, and like the waves are rising and you can barely catch your breath and you're alive, but it's like almost as if you're barely breathing. And this was happening for quite some time. It feels like there was like it slowly just kind of took over, and before you knew it, you were in the depth of it. Like you were just surrounded by this and getting heavy storm energy. And so the fact that this oracle is coming through and saying after the rain, saying it's over, you've made it through, something is backing up outside. Okay, that actually brought up a really good point, because I wanted to power through it and keep going, but I was so annoyed and frustrated by that sound, and it just felt so disruptive to me. And I tried to keep going, but I had to stop and I had to relax. And the entire time, God is like, just wait, settle down, relax. But I was trying to resist it. I was like, no, I want to keep going. I want to keep pushing. And so that resistance was honestly causing like more disruption than needed. I could have just genuinely been resting and relaxing and cultivating whatever was going to come through. And so that could be significant for you also. Just feeling it's not easy for you to relax. It's not easy for you to settle in and just like allow things to be what they are all the time. But this is a season of relief. This feels like, okay, something's coming to a close. Whatever you've just been moving through is coming to a close, and something new is beginning. So we're going to dive in and find out a little bit about what that is. We're going to do this deck first, because this feels like, oh, this is my OG deck. This is like, oh, there's so much power here. We're going to ease into it. Angels, what do we need to know about this relief, this hope energy, the rainbow after the storm? I'm hearing everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay. We have Judgment coming out, the Star, the Page of Pentacles. You're about to offer something to this world, the Fool. Okay. Trusting the process will get you everywhere. You might be seeing these messages pop up on your feed of season of suddenly. It's like as if suddenly everything just works out. Suddenly everything appears as if it's wonderful. The Judgment, ooh, this feels that control energy is coming through again, where it's like, you know what? You can't control everything, but you can control what's going on in here. You can control what's going on in here. In fact, those are the only things that you control, is what's going on here and what's going on here. Like you have all of the power when it comes to your body, when it comes to your mind. And that's what's coming through strongly is this Judgment card, where it's like you're realizing, oh, like I get the privilege of loving me. I get the privilege of empowering myself, of supporting myself, of motivating myself to keep going. And it also does feel like it's giving me such a strong energy of support too. Like you are receiving so much support from the universe, from the spirit guides, from people around you even. I feel so much peace settling over my body, which is such a different energy from that like chaotic storm, drowning in the deep ocean kind of energy. This feels like, whoa, all of a sudden you're floating. All of a sudden your dreams are coming true. All of a sudden, like, your wishes are being granted. It just feels like you are in a very strong period of like manifesting energy, as in whatever you believe is coming true, whatever you say is coming true, whatever you feel is coming true for you. And that's confirmed by this star energy, where it's like, oh my God, like, you are in such sync with the universe that everything just suddenly starts happening for you, and it feels so good. Like there's this like buzzing energy almost, where it's like you have so much more energy than you have had. Like you feel like an Energizer bunny almost, but it's as if you're recharged. It's as if you are coming back stronger and just like more powerful than ever, but wiser. Like there's this ancient intelligence that is coming through for you, that is going to shine through for you, that is guiding everything that you do. In the Page of Pentacles, it's like, okay, here you go, world. Here I am. This is what I have to offer. You are so confident in who you are.
Don't let this moment become just another video you watched. If these words stirred some deep inside your heart, that's not a coincidence. God wanted you to hear them. Right now, place your hand over your heart and boldly declare, I am chosen, deeply, deeply loved. I am not forgotten. God is working behind the scenes for me. My breakthrough is coming, and my story is not over. Say it again. And then say it one more time. Keep speaking these words until your fears become quieter than your faith. Let them heal the places that disappointment tried to break. Let them remind you that even in the silence, God has never stopped fighting for you. No matter what you've been through, no matter how long you've waited, and no matter how impossible things may seem, remember this: God's timing has never failed. The chapter you're living today is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of the miracle He has been preparing all along. If this message touched your soul, please don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone you love. Somewhere, someone is sitting alone tonight, feeling forgotten, praying for one sign that God still sees them. Your share could become the answer to that prayer. You may never know whose life you help change, but heaven does. And if the Holy Spirit places it on your heart to support this ministry through a super thanks, know that every gift, whether it's $5, $10, $20, or whatever you feel led to give, helps us continue sharing messages of hope, faith, healing, and God's unfailing love with people around the world who desperately need encouragement. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you for standing with us. We pray that God blesses you beyond anything you could ask or imagine, opens doors no one can shut, restores everything you've lost, and pours out His favor over you and your family. May He multiply every seed you sow, meet every need in His perfect timing, and fill your life with peace, joy, and the unmistakable evidence of His love. Together, we are more than a community. We are a family of believers, lifting one another in faith, walking in hope, and trusting that God's greatest miracles are still ahead. There is a kind of exhaustion that doesn't just show on the surface. The kind that lives in the spaces between your heartbeats. The kind that makes you smile at people while something inside you is silently counting down the hours until you can be alone again. Until you can stop performing okay and just be whatever you actually are in that moment. You know this exhaustion. You've been living inside of it for longer than you'd like to admit. It didn't arrive all at once. That's the thing about the hardest seasons. They don't announce themselves. They creep in slowly, like water rising around your ankles while you're busy looking at something else. And by the time you realize what's happening, you're already chest deep in it. And the waves are getting higher. And every breath feels like a small victory against something that's trying to pull you under. That's where you've been. Not drowning exactly. But not quite breathing either. Somewhere in that terrible middle place where you're alive but not living, where you're surviving but forgetting what it felt like to thrive. And the worst part, the part that nobody talks about, is how alone it felt, even when there were people around, even when life kept moving forward. There was something in you that felt completely, utterly isolated in the storm, like everyone else was standing on dry land, watching you tread water. And no matter how clearly you tried to signal that you were struggling, the distance between you and solid ground just kept growing. The moment when the rain finally stops. But here is where the story begins to change. Not with fireworks, not with some dramatic turning point that you can circle on a calendar and point to later. It happens the way dawn happens, so gradually that you almost don't notice it until suddenly there's light where there used to be darkness, and you realize the night is behind you. The storm is ending, not approaching its end, ending right now, in this breath. In this moment that you're reading these words and something in your chest is either tightening or releasing, maybe both at once, because some part of you has been waiting to hear this for so long. You made it through, and I don't say that lightly. I don't say it as some generic encouragement that could apply to anyone. I say it because what you went through was real and heavy and specific to you. And the fact that you're still here, still trying, still looking for meaning and guidance and hope, that is not a small thing. That is everything. Rainbows are going to start appearing in your life. Maybe they already have. In dreams, in reflections on windows, in unexpected places that make you pause and wonder if someone somewhere is trying to tell you something. They are. The rainbow is not just a pretty image, it's a message. It says, the rain is over. You can put down the umbrella now. You can stop bracing for the next wave. Relief is not coming. Relief is here. Learning to stop fighting the current. There's something that happens when you've been in survival mode for too long. Your body forgets how to rest or rest. Your mind forgets how to be still. Even when the threat passes, even when the water's calm, something inside you keeps swimming, keeps fighting, keeps pushing against a current that isn't even there anymore. And that resistance, that inability to stop, becomes its own kind of storm. You've been doing this, trying to power through, trying to control the outcome by sheer force of will. Believing that if you just keep moving, keep working, keep pushing, everything will eventually fall into place. But here's the truth that's asking to be heard. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is stop. Not give up. Stop. There's a difference. Giving up is surrender out of defeat. Stopping is surrender out of wisdom. It's recognizing that you cannot control the river, but you can stop exhausting yourself by swimming against it. It's allowing the current to carry you for a while. It's trusting that where you're being taken is exactly where you need to go. This doesn't come naturally to you. I know that. You're someone who is always responsible, so making kini for making things happen, for holding things together, for being the strong one. And that strength has served you. It's what got you through the storm in the first place. But strength without softness becomes rigidity, and rigidity breaks. So this is the invitation. Soften. Just for now. Just enough to let something other than your own effort move you forward for a while. The season of suddenly, here is where the energy begins to shift, where the story moves from surviving to arriving. Something is about to happen in your life that will feel almost sudden, almost too good, almost suspicious if you're being honest, because you've been conditioned to expect difficulty, to brace for disappointment, to treat good things like temporary visitors rather than permanent residents. But this season is different. Things are going to start working out, not in the slow, grinding way you've become used to. Where every small victory is earned through enormous effort, in a flowing way, in a way that makes you look around and wonder what changed, what shifted, what opened up when you weren't looking. And the answer is you changed. The storm changed you. Not by breaking you, though it tried, but by burning away everything that was no longer aligned with who you're becoming. The fear, the doubt. The old stories you kept telling yourself about what you deserved and what was possible for someone like you. The storm took all of that and turned it into fuel for what's coming next. What's coming next is going to exceed what you thought was possible for your life. The power that was always yours. There is a realization settling into you now. It might have been building for weeks, or it might be arriving in this exact moment. Either way, it's important, so let it land fully. You cannot control what happens around you, but you have complete authority over what happens within you. This sounds simple. It isn't. Because for so long, you've been trying to manage the external, the people, the circumstances, the outcomes, while neglecting the one territory that was actually entirely yours to govern: your mind, your body, your energy, your attention, your beliefs about yourself. These are yours. No one can take them. No one can control them without your permission. And when you finally truly understand this, not intellectually, but in your bones, everything changes. Because you stop waiting for the world to give you permission to feel powerful. You stop looking for external validation to feel worthy. You stop depending on circumstances to determine your peace. You become the source of your own power. And that power, quiet, steady, unshakable, is what's going to carry you through this next season. Something ancient is waking up. There's something else happening that's harder to explain, but important to name. You're not just healing, you're remembering. There's a version of you, older than this lifetime, wiser than your current experiences would account for, that's beginning to surface. It feels like coming home to a place you've never consciously been, but somehow recognize completely. This is ancient. This is deep. This is the kind of knowing that doesn't come from books or teachers or even personal experience. It comes from somewhere further back, somewhere cellular, and somewhere that your logical mind can't quite reach, but your soul recognizes instantly. You are tapping into something that has always been available to you, but wasn't accessible while you were drowning. The storm kept you focused on survival. But now that survival is no longer the primary concern, there's space for something else to emerge, something powerful, something that knows exactly who you are and exactly what you're capable of. Even when you forget, you have done this before. You have risen before. You have transformed before. And you will do it again. You get to be picky. Now, one of the most beautiful shifts happening in this season is the change in your relationship with what you're willing to accept. For so long, you took what was given. You made do with less because you didn't believe you could ask for more. You settled not because you didn't know your worth, but because you didn't believe the world would honor it even if you claimed it. And so you accommodated. You compromised. You made yourself smaller to fit into spaces that were never designed for someone like you. That's ending now. Something in you is standing taller. Something in you is saying no more easily than it ever has before. Something in you is looking at what's being offered and asking calmly, confidently, is this good enough for me? And when the answer is no, you're walking away, not with anger, not with drama, just with a quiet certainty that you deserve better, and that better is coming. You, specifically you, are allowed to have standards. You are allowed to be selective. You are allowed to choose what enters your life and what doesn't, who has access to your energy and who doesn't, what opportunities are worth pursuing and which ones are distractions dressed as chances. This is not arrogance. This is alignment. Effortless forward movement. The next season of your life is not going to feel like climbing a mountain. It's going to feel like floating downstream with the current behind you. Not because nothing requires effort. Things will still require your attention, your commitment, your presence, but because the effort will feel natural. Like your body finally moving the way it was designed to move. Like your mind finally thinking thoughts that serve you instead of sabotage you. Like your life finally reflecting who you actually are instead of who you were pretending to be. Abundance is coming. Not the flashy, overnight kind that disappears as quickly as it arrives. The sustainable kind. The kind that builds day by day, quietly and consistently, until one day you look around and realize that your life looks nothing like it did a year ago. And everything like what you once dreamed about in secret. This is happening for you. Not eventually. Now, the arrival, and so here you are. Standing at the edge of something new. Behind you, the storm. Ahead of you, a path that looks clearer than it has in a long time. Maybe ever. You don't have to have everything figured out to take the next step. You don't have to be fully healed, fully certain, fully ready. You just have to be willing. Willing to believe that what's coming is good. Willing to let go of what no longer fits. Willing to trust that you have been prepared for exactly this moment, even when it doesn't feel that way. The season of relief is not a break between difficulties. It's not a pause before the next storm. It's the beginning of a different kind of life. One where you're no longer just surviving, but actually, genuinely, deeply living. You've earned this. Not through suffering. Suffering doesn't earn anything, but through the way you kept showing up, even when showing up felt impossible. Through the way you refused to let the darkness define you, even when it surrounded you completely. Through the choice made over and over again in the quiet moments no one else saw, to keep going anyway. You didn't break, and now everything is about to bloom. The storm is behind you now. And what's ahead, honestly, truly, without exaggeration, is more beautiful than you know. You're going to see it soon. And when you do, I hope you remember this moment. The moment when you were standing right at the edge, still catching your breath, still learning how to believe in good things again, because you believed. And that was enough.